Hi everyone. So, this live is a really, really important one, and I know it doesn't look it. Usually I'm a bit more prepared than this, look a bit better than I do usually, but I have to tell you guys something. So, what I've been noticing when it comes to Brighton in particular is that there are more news reports coming out of rapists and PDF files, right? So I'm noticing more reports coming out about sex offenders between the the arrest of Prince Andrew and the investigation into Peter Mandelson, and the amount of stories that are actually coming out about, um, sexual abusers and, traffickers and rapists and stuff like that. What's actually happening is that the UK is playing a game that is ultimately about strategic damage control. So what the UK are doing is, whilst they've got your attention on these sex offenders that should rightly be arrested, called out, brought to justice, while your attention is focused on these things that are actually like very much a major concern, what's actually happening to targeted individuals is that there are increasing attacks on our hearts and our cardiovascular system, on our blood pressure, in order to have more targeted individuals killed. And as you guys know, if we cannot be killed health wise, there are some TIs that are being killed through forced suicide. So whilst like sex offenders are rightly being reported and stuff like that, the unfortunate thing is that it's actually covering for what's actually happening to targeted individuals of all ages, including children. Because you have to remember that radio frequencies and microwave weapons and directed energy weapons and community stalking have been used for the purpose of trafficking. So whilst they're revealing, the mainstream media in the UK are revealing these people who are involved in trafficking, who are involved in predatory behaviors, in a bid to make the UK look more responsible, targeted individuals are actually being killed off. And this is why targeted individuals need to be on their guard. You mean to tell me that there have been a handful of people in this country being stalked and harassed when they've done nothing wrong and committed no crimes, and yet unknown adults are able to like try to snatch children off the street? Something's not right here. So what I'm going to need my targeted individuals to do is to be on your guard. If you can up your protection when it comes to protection against frequencies, then do it. Also note that there might be an increase in the use of more lethal directed energy weaponry and sonar weaponry, right? Take for granted that there will be an increase in the use of more deadly technology because of everything that's going on. Understand that, pedophiles and rapists being brought to justice. I've forgotten the code words already. I'm going to say the words. Pedophiles and rapists being brought to justice, or appearing to be brought to justice, is a smokescreen for the pedophiles and rapists that are being allowed to walk free thanks to gang stalking. Okay? There are a set of criminals that are being used to cover for other criminals. So my fellow TIs, I need you to be on your guard. I need you to be on your guard. I need you to make sure you're protected against electromagnetic frequencies. Also, have plans in place. Like I said, write your last testament, and I'm going to write mine up again, because there are certain things that I need to iron out. Get your last will and testament in order, because again, this genocide is aimed towards annexing resources from various families within the UK. This is about annexing resources. So get your last will and testament even if you're on benefits and you believe you don't have any assets, write a fucking will anyway, because as long as you have possessions, you have assets. Write a fucking will. Write a last will and testament. Write a power of attorney where possible, because psychiatric trafficking will increase. And, prison trafficking, like the engineering of arrests and stuff like that. And you know what I'm talking about, like convict leasing, I think it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but I think it's convict leasing. That will increase in this country as well. So please be aware to write your last will and testament, get that in order. Make sure you talk to other targeted individuals, but make sure you maintain healthy boundaries with the targeted individuals that you talk to, because preservation of your psychological being is incredibly important. Also, again, if you can find ways to protect yourself against EMFs, DEWs, or radio frequency, then fucking do it. If you can find a way to protect yourself against these things, please do it. Also, learn to become emotionally and financially literate, because these things are going to be increasingly important as radio frequencies are more widespread. The use of them become more widespread and become increasingly aggressive. Okay, so emotional literacy is going to be important. Financial literacy is going to be important, because the financial abuse is going to increase too. Also, find remedies for any cardiovascular health concerns, any concerns with your bloodstream and your blood pressure, like any concerns with those things, find remedies for those as well. Because again, there have been increased attacks with regards to the hearts and brains of targeted individuals and our nervous systems. There have been increased attacks on us whilst the UK has been engaging in this smokescreen of, being seen to do something about pedophiles and rapists. So there's this smokescreen that is being covered over the entire country, whilst targeted individuals are essentially having increased attempts made on our lives, and targeted individuals, to my mind, being killed off. I'm absolutely sure targeted individuals are increasingly being killed off. There was one that passed recently. It wasn't in the UK, but there was one targeted individual that passed recently. And there have been growing reports of people dying through aneurysms, which is not just, it's not just a pandemonium thing. It wasn't just a pandemonium thing. It was a radio frequency thing. The pandemonium thing and the radio frequency thing are interlinked. Targeted individuals have been knowing this. So there have been increased aneurysms among increasingly young people. And then on top of that, there have been reports of people being found in bodies of water. I'm not going to go into too much details about that, but the way the circumstances sound, you got to watch out for that. Especially, that there have been black women found near bodies of water. So if you're a black female TI, please be on your guard as well. There's a story from my friend Pauline Chung. If you look at my interview with her, she has experienced mind control using radio frequencies that have forced her body to walk over to a bridge, right? But when she refused to jump off and her mind was too strong to help her jump off, she was pushed into the body of water. Now, when it comes to these black women, like increasingly found among bodies of water, I cannot say for sure that it might be the targeting, or that it might be weaponized radio frequencies, or it might be community stalking that caused all of these black women to die in similar ways or to be found in similar ways. I can't say that for sure. It could be a serial killer. I don't know what the situation is, but I will say that even though the police have said there's nothing suspicious going on, to me, given what I know about the capabilities of radio frequencies and voice to skull technology, for so many black women to be found dead the same way, it does ring alarm bells. And this is in the UK. It does ring alarm bells to me. So if you're a black female TI, especially, be on your guard. If you are a TI at all, be on your guard, because they're in the efforts to kill TIs, even TIs who don't know they're TIs. Increases to kill us off are being stepped up alongside this campaign of the UK government being made to look like they're doing something about its predators. They're not. This is just for show. This is just for show why they kill us off. And while they drown our voices when we talk about targeting, it's all strategic. All of it is strategic. Gang stalking and the use of advanced technology in order to control the population is at the very core of everything that's been happening. And everything that's happening with America, with Trump's idiotic ass starting a war, starting World War III because he wanted to cover up for the Epstein files. If I had to guess, it wasn't just the crimes against children that he was covering up, even though to me that's the most important thing. He's also covering up behavioral control that is being used on millions of people daily. That's another thing that he is covering up, because all that is military. You're talking about microwave weapons and DEWs that are being used to torture and control people's behavior, and also voice to skull. All of that is military technology. So all these horrific circumstances are literally being used to cover the secrets of social control. Now, that's not all they're covering up for, but they're covering up for the main facts and information surrounding social control. That's exactly what they're doing. That's why targeted individuals need to be on their guard. Because in a society like this, the truth tellers are usually attacked first, because they are the ones who reveal what's really fucked up and ugly about the world. And the more people the more people are hungry, the more people are ill, the more people are lonely, they start to think of removing anything that they deem to be ugly. It doesn't have to be emotional destruction like I talked about before, although that can come into it. It essentially boils down to this. It boils down to people who reveal the truth about how cruel this world really is being taken out first. This is why I said the targeted individuals need to be on their guard. This is why I say targeted individuals need to be on their guard, because, again, whilst the UK is smart enough to take out anybody who was in the Epstein files, to arrest Prince Andrew, whilst the UK was smart enough to arrest Prince Andrew and to investigate Peter Mandelson and to release all these stories about rapists and pedophiles, while the UK was smart enough to do that, what they've actually done is they've bought themselves more time to kill TIs off. They have bought themselves more time to kill, not just the marginalized TIs, but essentially more time has been bought to kill TIs off. And not just TIs, also immigrants, trans people, queer folk, anyone marginalized, anyone within the margins, they're being killed off. And it started with us TIs, and especially black TIs. It started with us TIs, and now it's moved on to smaller groups of people within the within the general population of the UK, and the working class are next. Right? So this is exactly why it's so important for TIs to stay aware, to protect yourselves and to keep speaking out. If there are attempts being made on your life, if you can feel any sensations around your heart or your major organs, if something isn't right, go to a hospital as quickly as you can, but also keep everything documented online. Because there's no court in this country for the people that are doing this to targeted individuals. There's no court in this country for the people who are trafficking us, because they are government and corporations. There is no court in this country for people like them ever. Okay? So just make sure you keep yourselves protected, you keep speaking out, because you're going to be glad you did that when push comes to shove, you're going to be glad that you revealed the truth to the entire world. Protect yourselves, please. And also make sure you talk to other TIs. Maintain healthy boundaries, maintain healthy emotional boundaries, because that's going to be important. But also make sure you talk to other TIs. Make sure you stay safe, because they are coming for us. They are coming for us. We were like targeted individuals. We were the ones warning everybody. And again, this world does not get rid of the toxic. It gets rid of the ugly. And the truth is ugly. Don't let this world get away with it. Don't let this world get away with it. Don't go out silent if you can possibly help it. Get your paperwork sorted out. Make sure you reach out to other targeted individuals. And make sure you stay safe. And you know how to defend yourselves if it comes to the worst of it. Make sure. And also, targeted individuals, you need to focus on yourselves. And I know how that sounds, but this is what I realize, right? The more marginalized you are, the more you're in need. And the more you're in need, the more the world expects you to justify your existence. So this is where you have to focus on yourself, my fellow TIs. You have to focus on your own health, your well-being, so that when it comes to helping one another, you have a cup. You have an overflowing cup to help people drink from. So I wasn't very clear, I wasn't very articulate in this video, but essentially what it boils down to is this, my fellow TIs, and I've said it before, you need to protect yourselves, because there are increasing attacks on targeted individuals, whether they know they're TIs or not. Be prepared. Okay? Now, I'm going to go. You guys take care, and unless there's something else I've got to add. Yeah, I've got to go. So we'll talk soon. Bye.